Hello and welcome back to episode 138, Talkoffamepod podcast with their host, Kylie Montigney, and I'm so excited for this episode because we have the lovely Lindsey Schwartz. Lindsey is so amazing. She's an author, speaker, community builder, and founder of Powerhouse Women. Like, what can you do? Like, thank you so much for joining, Lindsey.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you have founded Powerhouse Women, which is such an amazing organization. It's a company that is working to help women have successful businesses and lives. Like, why did you start this organization?
Yeah, I think I started it the same way most of us, I think, start the things that we build is I had a need for myself. I was really looking for a community where I could be my most ambitious self. And that was celebrated and encouraged. And no one was telling me that I was dreaming too big. But we could also be just as honest about the parts that are hard or challenging when you are growing and leaning into personal growth. And I couldn't really find it. So I came to this moment where I was like, well, I guess then I need to create it. And I really did that just out of a desire to meet my own need. And it's so cool to see now, about 6 years later, just how many other people were feeling the same way.
Like, I'm sure like a lot of people kind of feel that way, but it's like for yourself, like for me, like a lot, I felt personal growth. I'm like, how do I make myself grow as a person? Like, how do I basically become a bigger person than myself? You know what I mean? Like, did you experience yourself like a lot, like with personal growth?
Yeah, well, and I still do today.
Mhm.
I think that personal growth is something that does not end until we get to our very last breath. And I think that's so cool. That's actually the most fun part about being a human being is
Mhm.
being able to evolve and learn new things about yourself and become even more effective and even, give on a bigger level the more that you break through what holds you back. So when I started to look at growth in that way, not that there were like these problems that I had to fix about myself, but actually it was opportunities. So when I see a new area that I'm like, ooh, I've got some work to do there. I clearly have a mindset block or maybe a belief that I'm outgrowing. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. It just means now that I have an opportunity to become a new version of me. And that really helped me is to stop looking at it like I'm just not good enough or there's things about myself I have to change in order to become good enough. It's not like that at all. We already are good enough, and there's just more opportunities to grow.
Yeah, exactly. And like personal growth like never leaves you. Even though
Mm-hmm.
you grow, you come to a different age every single year, like you still have personal growth. Like even though I might still be growing as a person, it never leaves you, no matter what age you are. You might be a kid, you might be a adult, you might be a teen, like no matter how old you are, personal growth affects you in some ways. And like when I come in situations like you said, like when you're working on an organization, when you're working on a podcast or whatever you do, like you think like, oh, how can I change this? Like how can I
Mm-hmm.
make change in this area or how can I grow something? But like with Powerhouse Women, like how do you like help women have successful businesses and lives? Because I know like
Yeah.
people do it different ways and have different kind of mindsets into doing it.
Well, I think the first thing that I knew when I was creating this community for women is that I don't have all the answers. So I wanted to create community and show other people that no one person actually has all the answers. So my answers for how to make my business successful are going to be different than yours, are going to be different than someone else's. But I believe that if I could create the community where people knew it was safe to ask questions, it was safe to share when they were struggling, and where we really created this atmosphere of actually helping each other, not just saying it because it sounds like a cute quote on Instagram, but
Mm-hmm.
actually helping each other, I knew that we would be able to go further faster. So the way that I specifically support women to grow their businesses is through that. It's through the community that I've built, knowing that within the greater community exists any answer that they could ever need. So it just took the pressure off of me, and hopefully someone listening needed to hear that too, of like, I don't have all the answers and I'm not supposed to. And that just really helped me not get like overwhelmed that it was my job to know exactly how to grow everyone else's business.
Like, I like what you said because like not everyone literally has the answers in that situation. Like for me, like people might think like, oh, I know all the answers to growing a like a podcast and all these things I do. Like I do not know everything. Like I do not know all the facts. I don't know how to have a successful podcast. Like I do not know everything.
Right.
Even though it might seem like we know everything about everything, it might seem like that, but then like on the inside, like we do not do everything. Even though we research things, we do millions of things to become a better person, to learn more about things. We still do not know everything. There's a million things in a row that we have with Google. That's really what Google and looking up things are for. And like
Yeah.
even as a person, like we might have like self-doubt about business. We might have think like, oh my God, this business might not grow, but then like just do research. That's what kind of like a community is for, to have other business owners that might help you, right?
Totally. That's exactly it.
And like I wanted to kind of get like your insight on this. Like how old do you need to be to have a successful business, like in your opinion?
Okay, I loved this question when you sent it over because I don't think there is an age limit. I don't think someone could be too young, and I definitely don't believe someone could be too old. And if we look around, we can always find examples of someone who did it at whatever age you are. So if someone, like I talk to women who think, oh, I'm too old, I'm already, this age, and it's probably just too late for me. But we can find examples of someone who's done it at even older ages. Same thing with being young. I know so many incredible teenagers who have businesses or have helped their parents in their businesses. So I think we have to understand that if you have a vision to create something, like if that vision is in your heart and you feel so excited about it, it means that you right now, however old you are, the life experience you have, you already have what you need, and at least to get it started. Like we said, you do not need to have all the answers because no one does, spoiler alert. But I actually don't think that there's such a thing as too young. If you wake up and you realize you've got this idea and this vision that you're really excited about, it means you're ready now.
For sure. And like for me, like I started my own like organization at I think 15 years old. And
Yeah,
it's never too late to start an organization. Like it's never an age limit. You can literally start like an organization at 5 years old. And that
exactly.
and
Yeah,
like that's not no one's gonna stop you in starting an organization or do whatever you want. And the only person that can control you is yourself and your mind. If you
hmm,
really want to do it, then put your mind to it and do it. Like that's like what stopped me as a kid. Because like with a girl with anxiety from a small town, like that's really what stopped me, is that like, oh, I can't do that because I have anxiety, or I
right.
can't speak up. I don't know how to do these things. But like it's really all in your mind, and your other side of your brain saying, oh, you can't do it, all the negative thoughts. But on the other hand, like you can. Don't let those negative thoughts get to you, because like when you're older, you're gonna regret probably not doing that situation. It's might as well
Yeah,
try it. You don't know you're gonna like it. If you don't like it, then don't do it. Like you don't know you like it until you do it.
exactly. Exactly. That's so well said. And, I think about you, you're one of the people that I think of when someone says like, oh, can I do this as a teenager? You are one of the first people that I think of as someone who's doing it and is proof that it's possible. And that's why
Mhm.
it is important for all of us to share our stories, because it shows someone else who might be doubting themselves that they can do it too.
And like in 2017, you published your book, Powerhouse Woman: How to Get Out Your Own Way, Fulfill Your Own Unique Purpose, and Live a Powerful Life, which made such a big movement. And how has this book kind of paved your way to help women all over the world?
Well, I love that you asked this question because, well, we're friends now, so I can just tell you the honest truth. It was an
Mhm.
accident. Like I never actually expected that the book would inspire the whole community and the podcast that I have or this big live event that I do. I just knew that I felt this little tug, this little nudge to write a book. And I didn't know why. And I was like, who am I to write a book? Right. I had all those thoughts like, who's going to listen to me? No one cares what I have to say. And at the time, I didn't really have a big audience. I didn't have a lot of people who were wanting to hear from me. But I knew deep down that I was really feeling called to do that. And so I think it's a reminder that sometimes I think a lot of times we don't actually get to see the whole path. Like I didn't get to see the full vision of where that book was going to go or what it would inspire. I just had to trust that by taking the next little tiny baby step, that the next part was going to be revealed. So it was honestly the hardest thing I've ever done. Writing a book was really hard. It took a whole year. And I really doubted myself. I just really dealt with a lot of like insecurities and just wondered if I was good enough to write this book. But I'm so proud of myself for finishing it, because now look at how many people it's helped, thousands of people around the world. And in the moment, it felt really scary and it felt like I didn't know what I was doing. But the best blessings come on the other side of leaning into the things that feel really scary right now.
Like that's exactly right, because like even if someone is doing a podcast, I know you do a podcast as well, and like you may think like, oh my God, no one's gonna listen to my voice. Just like usually
Right.
like when people listen to podcasts, they usually do it when they're like going on the way to work or going for a run or whatever they want to listen to podcasts. You may think, why would they want to listen to a teenage podcast, or why would they want to listen to me talk about mental health or businesses or whatever it is? Like, why would they want to listen to me? But then, like, it's all about your passion. It's all about like where your heart goes. Even though you might think like, oh, they're probably not gonna listen to me. I'm probably barely gonna get any views. Like, things always don't turn out to be what you expect.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it goes back to what we were just saying earlier. If you have that vision inside of you, it means that someone does need to hear your voice. Even if you're doubting that anyone will listen or anyone will care, the fact that you have the vision for it means that there's at least one person you're going to help if you're just bold enough to step out and to take that first step.
And like, if anyone that hasn't read your book, like, what are like some like topics you discuss?
Oh gosh, it's been a while since I've read my own book. So, what I wanted, I think the overall message and what I wanted people to really get from it is to realize exactly what we're talking about here, that if you have this really, really big vision, or even sometimes it just starts with this little feeling that you're meant for more, you can't even really explain it or describe why you feel like, even when I was your age, I was just really ambitious. I just had really big dreams.
Mhm.
And to realize that when we have that within us, and I do think there are certain people in the world who are just gifted with like really big visions to carry out, it does mean that you already have enough within you to start that journey. You don't have to wait. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to be perfect before you take the first step. And so that's the biggest thing that I wanted people to realize. And I share a lot of my own stories of having to get out of my own way, having to really deal with the fears that I was having and the self-doubt and being a little bit insecure and wondering if anyone would care what I had to say. I wrote about all that. So I really just hope it's encouraging for people who are just like you and me, who have really big dreams and we're going after them, just to know that they aren't alone.
For sure. And like, if people like, especially women, are kind of like struggling to open up about their struggles and challenges, and like kind of don't know how to open up to people or are scared, because that's how I felt. Like, I was so scared to open up about my struggles because I felt so embarrassed in how I felt. And I'm sure many people felt that way. Like, what is kind of a way people can open up about their struggles and challenges?
That's such a beautiful question. And, I think it just gave me so much confidence to know that I wasn't the only one. I know it feels scary at first to say it, but you never know who you're helping by your bravery, being willing to admit, hey, I don't always feel happy, or sometimes I struggle a little bit with my mindset and I can feel a little bit sad sometimes. You just don't even know who you're helping by your courage to speak up about it, and just to share that we all are imperfect human beings. And I think it's easy to look on social media and just see like this highlight reel of all the pretty parts of someone's life And then we look at our own life and think, mine is more like the blooper reel, where like people are falling down and they're embarrassing themselves. But we all have both. And so I think we can make a bigger impact by being honest about the parts of our life that aren't perfect than we could ever make by trying to be perfect. And it just, for me, it was kind of exhausting trying to look and feel like I have everything together. It actually was more exhausting to me to pretend to be perfect than it was to say, yeah, I struggle with this, because it actually lost a little power over me. Like sometimes fear can feel like it's like gripping onto us.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I just was honest about it, it kind of lost its power and I didn't feel as stopped by the fear anymore. So I think it's okay to honor, maybe you're not ready to open up yet about some of those things, and that's okay. Maybe find one person, one trusted friend that you can be honest with. You don't have to share them publicly on a podcast or anywhere else, but I think it's a bigger gift. It's even a gift to yourself when you're able to open up and just speak those things that you really do struggle with, because it almost does then lose its grip over you.
For sure. And like people always like think like, oh, your life is so perfect through Instagram, social media, and you get to interview all these amazing people, so many amazing people. Like I wish I were you. Like I wish I can know all these amazing famous people and all these business owners. But like with being a podcaster that knows all these amazing people, life is still not perfect for knowing amazing people. Yes, like I am grateful. Everyone's grateful for knowing the amazing people. I love knowing amazing people like you and all these people. But that doesn't make me a perfect human being. That doesn't stop me from having mental health problems or being afraid to speak up. Like that doesn't, yes, that's a good part of my life to have people I can go to for things, and have advice. That's one of the best parts about it, is that you can go to someone that's as a business owner trying something you're interested in, you can go to them for advice and how you can get into it. Like even though like your life might seem perfect on social media, you're going to traveling a lot, you're doing all these amazing things, like through social media, they're only showing good things that are happening in their life. Like you may not know what's going on behind the scenes. Even though like personally, like as like an example, I might post things that are happening in my life, and the exciting things I'm posting. Oh, I get to travel a lot, or I get to interview these people, and I have so many people I know. I'm going out a lot, or blah blah blah. And like you meet like on the inside when I'm in my room, but when I'm inside at my house, my family, I'm upset. I'm drained. I'm working every single day, like from like 8 a.m. to like 10 o'clock at night, from doing schoolwork, interviews, organizations, like so many things. And like it stresses everyone. It stresses me out. Not only me, but so many other people. Like you don't know what I'm going through. Like as an example, today I'm stressed. Like I'm stressed with so much work that I'm probably gonna be up late doing work. You know what I mean? As an example, like you do not know kind of how much people are working hard every single day. You know what I mean?
So true. Yeah. And just to remember that we only get to see this teeny tiny little sliver of someone's life on social media. We're just seeing teeny tiny part of it. That's so good.
And like on August 25th and 26th, Powerhouse Women is hosting PW 2023 in Scottsdale, Arizona. And like, can you tell us more about that?
Oh, I would love to tell you more about that, because it's my favorite day of the entire year. I always say that I don't really need a birthday party, because that day is just my favorite day. My birthday isn't till later. It's in December, but I just now forever, it's pretty much Powerhouse Women Day. So we do this big event every year called Powerhouse Women. And it's really a day all about getting out of your own way, having some of these honest conversations like you and I had today, and getting into action around your big ideas. Because I think one of the things that can feel a little bit hard, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, being, really ambitious and doing such cool things at your age, is sometimes it feels like there's not a lot of people around you who really understand or who know what it's like to grow a business. So we put about 500 of them, actually, I think it'll be more this year, in a room. So you'll know that your dreams are not too big, that you are not too much, and that there are people who are who are out there on this same journey, so you don't feel alone, but also so you know that your dreams were really given to you for a reason. So we bring in these inspiring speakers, and it's beautiful, very like fun places to take photos and just get your vision filled back up. And this is going to be our 7th event. I can't believe it, but it really is such a beautiful day. And for anyone who loved the conversation that you and I had today, it's definitely the room for them.
Like, where can people like find more information about the event if they like are interested, like kind of learning more, or kind of like are interested in kind of going to the event or like to learn more?
Yeah. So all of it is on our website. You can get the event details at powerhousewomenevent.com. And then even just over on our Instagram page, which is powerhouse_women, or our podcast is called Powerhouse Women. Even if you just kind of aren't sure about the event, but you want to lean into more conversations like these, those would be great places to connect. And I would love to meet all of your awesome listeners, because if they're as awesome as you, I definitely want to know them.
Thank you so much. And like, what type of speakers are gonna be at the event? I'm kind of curious, or is it like
Yeah.
TBD type of thing?
Well, we did announce a couple of the speakers. So we always bring in, just women who are doing really, really cool things. So I don't know if you have heard of like Amy Porterfield. She has one of the top podcasts in business. Another woman who I just adore is Ronnie Brown. She has a book called From Mopping Floors to Making Millions on Instagram. She has a huge, crazy, cool story. And then another really good friend of mine, Jen Gottlieb. And these are all women who, yes, they've created success and they're very inspiring. But even more inspiring to me is that they're always willing to tell the truth about the parts that are still hard for them, so that you can see, okay, this is a successful woman, but wait, she struggles with anxiety. She struggles with this thing that I struggle with. It just kind of lets you know that you can do it too. So we'll be announcing more speakers, but those are the ones so far that we've announced.
Ooh. And like, you are in the process of writing a second book, right?
Yes, I was literally working on it right before I hopped on this podcast with you.
Ooh, what can like we expect from the second book?
Well, that is a big question, my friend. I am getting clear right now. So I'm just at the very, very beginning stages. But maybe I can tell you what I'm thinking of, and then you can tell me if you feel like this would be a good book, okay? I want to write the book that I wish someone had handed me when I was first starting out in business. And it's like, if I were like an older sister in business and saying like, here's the things you need to know. Here's the things that are going to feel kind of tough. Here are the things that might challenge your belief in yourself. But I'm also going to tell you, here are the couple of steps to take in order to get through them, so that people don't get to those hard points, because we all get to those points where we struggle or we're growing really fast and it just feels kind of hard. And we think that there's like something wrong with us, or we think that maybe we should start to play small or give up altogether. And I want to make sure that people don't do that. So very much based in my own story and the things that I've learned along the way, but wanting to make it a lot easier and faster for someone else who's just getting started. So that's I think the direction that we're going to go with the second book, and it's going to be so fun.
Ooh, I love that idea. That sounds like an amazing idea.
Okay, you heard it here, folks.
And like, the last thing I have to ask you is like, what is some advice for women that are struggling to speak up or are just starting a business?
I think we covered so many great topics even in this short time together. And I think the biggest thing that I just want to reiterate that we've already said, but I think this is the biggest thing, is that if you are someone who knows you have a message inside of you, or there's just something that you want to create, whether it's a business or a passion project, or you could just be at that point, like I was saying, where you know you're meant for more, but you don't know what that is yet. I just want you to keep leaning into the fact that you feel that way, or you have that idea or that message for a reason. It does mean that there is untapped potential in you, and that someone else in the world needs it. Like, we need you. We need your voice. It's going to help someone. And, I say this all the time to the women in my community. Because I think it's easy to look at maybe me right now, which is 7 years into my business, and think, oh, well, Lindsey's already doing it. There's no need for me to speak up and use my voice. But there are going to be certain people who need to hear the message from you, Kylie. Like they're going to need to hear your version of it, or someone else listening. Someone's going to need to hear it from your perspective and from your life experience. They wouldn't be able to get their breakthrough hearing it from me. So I think when we realize that all of our voices are so needed, all of our ideas are so needed, it, at least for me, helped me just have enough courage to take like that first or the next little baby step.
Baby steps are always the key to kind of success and growing, right? Like it's always like
Yes.
boom, 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 boom.
Right? It's so true. Just like when we are actually little babies and we're learning to walk, we wouldn't expect a little baby to just get up and start running. That would be kind of weird. It'd be a little
Yeah,
freaky.
that would be a little weird.
A little freaky.
If I did that outside, people probably think like, oh, she's crazy, she's
Yeah.
nuts. She probably
Totally.
think like, oh, like whose daughter is this? Like whose person does she belong to?
Right. So why would we ever expect that when we're starting something new, that, you know, our vision is like that little baby? Why would we expect it just to get up and all of a sudden, boom, like be this huge successful thing? No, it's going to take time, but that's okay. That's where you grow.
For sure. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I love chatting with you, Cecily. You're amazing. Where can people find you on social media if they want to connect?
Yeah, well, I feel the exact same way. This is such an honor. I was looking forward to it all week. The easiest place to connect, I think, is just Instagram. And I'm sure you'll include all the links and stuff like that in the podcast notes. But it's just Lindsey Schwartz, but I have an extra L at the beginning because apparently there's lots of Lindsey Schwartzes on Instagram. So mine just has an extra L at the beginning. Otherwise, you can find me also just through the Powerhouse_women account over there as well.
Awesome. Everyone go to connect with Lindsey, and thank you so much for joining, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you soon. Thank you for everyone for tuning in.
Yay, thank you.
Of course. Talk to you soon.